What's up, my people? Welcome back to Vertical Football. Welcome back to another episode of Five Things We Learned, the first Champions League game for this season. Atletico Bilbao 0, Arsenal 2. Guys, interesting game. I really enjoyed the game. It was interesting to watch. Arsenal won the game by 2 goals. Goes to Martinelli in just like 36 seconds into the game, and Trossard with a very, very intelligent goal at the end. So, guys, let's analyze the 5 things we learned in this match. The first thing I think is the first half was really tough for Arsenal. I think, and I think it was just basically based off on the setup of Bilbao. I felt Arsenal, a very intelligent team, trying to find solutions. You know, for example, in the first half, we saw that Bilbao set up in a 4-4-2 off the ball, and the 4-4-2 off the ball was very compact, very disciplined, you know, and they also had the ability to move to the width and come back and still maintain their shape, and it made it difficult for Arsenal to pass through. And you saw Arsenal, very intelligent team in that first half, also tried to innovate in terms of Raya coming to add as an extra man in the build-up, being in center, the winger, the midfielders, Mosquera and Gabriel, going wide, the fullbacks going wide to create a 5, and to make sure that 5 can be able to find a way against, the 2 and the 4 of Bilbao. I think they were very intelligent, but it was really difficult. At a point in time around the 16th minute, they tried going long. They tried finding ways to go to the likes of Gyökeres, going to the front men, just to make sure that, they could find a way to play out. I think it was very difficult. And I feel Bilbao were very disciplined in how they went about it. And I think Bilbao used what we have seen many times when you play against a very good side like Arsenal, where you have to resort to playing guerrilla tactics in a way, in the sense of Bilbao, as they were compact, Bilbao also knew that there will be those moments of counter press, those moments of, of attacking transitions, when just keep our shape, we have those moments. And I felt in the first half, Bilbao were comfortable on the ball, which is not a surprise for a Spanish side, comfortable on the ball. And they had fairly good moments in the first half, on the transition, on the attacking transition. And I felt that was very, very good, good to see. So I think the second half was a totally different experience in the sense of, that is my second point, in the sense of when they entered back into the game, Bilbao changed their approach. It was still a 4-4-2 off the ball, but now it was a more aggressive 4-4-2 off the ball. It's like, okay, guys, we've defended compactly in the first half. We were very cautious in the first half. Now, let's go, let's play us. And I feel because of that strategy to be more aggressive that Bilbao made in the second half, I think it gave Arsenal much more space on the ball and behind the lines of Bilbao. And I think you could see that a lot of attacking play, a lot of counter pressing from Arsenal, counter pressing from Bilbao. And I feel when I was watching the game, I was like, I can predict how the goal would come from this game. And I knew it was going to come from, a counter pressing, a fast transition moment, because of the way the game was going. I knew it wasn't going to go from a structured build-up because of the way the teams were cutting down each other's attack, and how that the teams had, even though Arsenal had more better counter-pressing situations and they had more, the likes of Madueke was very fantastic in driving their attack forward into dangerous areas. So I knew it was going to be a counter-pressing, a counter-pressing goal mistakes, and then capitalize on the opponent mistake and then being out of shape. And I felt that's what we saw in the first goal from Martinelli. So, guys, the third point is that I feel Madueke is going to be a spectacular player for Arsenal. I see qualities that, yes, I know he has, but I see qualities in an Arsenal side that is built to, to take advantage of those qualities. But even though I know that, his quality is the ability to maintain maximum width, and the ability for the likes of Rice, the likes of Merino, the likes of, Zubimendi to find him on that side, and for him to have 1v1 situations in isolation with the left back. And I feel he had those moments. But at a certain point, I was like, yes, I understand he has the qualities. I understand that, this is going to be a massive plus, what he brings to Arsenal, what Arsenal also has in the likes of Saka, even though Saka is someone that would need maybe an overlap, underlap, situation. But I felt Madueke is someone that purely has the ability to go 1v1. So I think what he just needs to improve upon, which I've said also many times, is he needs to improve upon his delivery. He needs to improve upon on how he wants to, not just the moments of going 1v1 in isolation, but also what is going to be the end result. Let it be fruitful for his team. And I think he was very decent in today's game. But I felt at some certain point it was getting too much, which I felt was getting too much. The balls to him. I felt they could have used the other side. And that's why when I look at the goals, especially the second goal of Arsenal, I'm like, yes, use the other side. Use the other side. And I felt that they had moments they used the other side, but they were overly reliant on Madueke in those moments. Even though, yes, we know it's a strength, but I think at a certain point, it was becoming quite easy to deal with. Quite easy to deal with. Not easy, but quite easy to deal with by the Bilbao defensive line. They knew we will have an overload situation, a concentration moments, but we know that Arsenal's next move is to load it and do it. It's easy to adapt with it. But I felt for me, it was nice to see that Arsenal scored goals that were majorly central towards the left-hand side, and then the obvious, amazing goal and very intelligent goal from Trossard. So, and I think that brings me to the goal from Trossard. I felt the two goals just shows you why Arsenal is the top team, why Bilbao isn't. I felt it was just two moments of defensive lapse. The first one was they were out of shape in a way, that's Bilbao, and how they did not react in the right way to that situation, of playing it, in the space for Martinelli. They didn't react well. And I felt that secondly also, when the cutback came from Martinelli to Trossard, the Trossard was wise enough and sharp enough to quickly, come out, and you could see that there was that 1 second, 2 second delay from the Bilbao defense to quickly go. And so I think it just shows that at this level in the Champions League, you have to be sharp up there. The teams you are playing, Bilbao, are not, and they also know they're not small teams. These are teams that are very, very good in what they do. And I felt everybody expected Arsenal to win, and I liked the win. It was a comfortable win. It was a win where they were able to, they faced with certain challenges, and they were able to withstand those challenges and do very well. And so, guys, I think for me, the 15, I think that should be the 15. For me, would be fantastic performance from Arsenal, routine win, consistent performance from Arsenal, professional performance. I feel everybody expected Arsenal to win, and Arsenal went out. Little challenges here and there, they dealt with the moment, it was an intense game, but Arsenal is an intense team also. They play in the Premier League. I was really surprised by the intensity of Bilbao. I never expected they would be that intense, but Arsenal were there. I think everything Bilbao true to Arsenal today, Arsenal were there really, and I felt for me it was a routine win. So Arsenal, looking forward to the Premier League match in the weekend. So guys, these are my 5 things between the Champions League game between Athletic Bilbao and Arsenal. Athletic Bilbao 0, Arsenal 2, goals from Martinelli and Trossard. So guys, let me have your opinion on the 2 goals. Have your opinion on the match. What did you see? What did I not see? Let's also have that discussion. Until I see you next time. Bye.